In a bid to boost employment in the country, the Narendra Modi government has initiated the second big wave of economic reforms. The government has eased foreign direct investment in pharma, aviation and defense along with several other sectors. The government claims its reforms have turned India into the world's most open economy today. The opposition launched a scathing attack. They've said that the government has panicked.
The government has announced fresh liberalization of FDI rules, throwing open several sectors for foreign companies. From food, retail, airlines and defense to animal husbandry, the Modi government has announced its second wave of big bang economic reforms, which increase the inflow of foreign money into the country.
Prime Minister's desire to make India a manufacturing hub will be fulfilled because now we are getting the money for investment, and the skills that we are providing our youth are going to give the ability for us to produce in India.
The Modi government also tweaked FDI rules to allow companies such as Apple to open their own stores in the country. While the government has attempted to send out a clear message that India is open for business, the move has failed to cut ice with the opposition.
पिछले 10 साल और खासतौर से पिछले 2 सालों जितनी एफडीआई की बात कह रहे हो कि वो देश के अंदर आया, उससे ज्यादा इंडियन कैपिटल देश से बाहर गया।
मोदी सरकार मानती है कि हमारी अर्थव्यवस्था की जादू की छड़ी एफडीआई है।
Foreign investment is considered crucial for India, which needs investment for overhauling its infrastructure sector and to boost its sluggish demand. And with government biting the FDI bullet, will the move provide a major boost to employment and job creation in India? Bureau Report, India Today.
India is now the world's biggest economy open for business is what the government says. Atul Anjan, National Secretary of the CPI, joins me. GVL Narasimha Rao represents the BJP. Shweta Pun, Senior Editor, India Today, joins me on the broadcast, as does Sandeep Unnithan. He is Executive Editor, India Today. Now, the government has said India is the most open economy in the world for FDI. This after the government radically liberalized the FDI regime. 100% FDI under the government approved route. What does this mean for jobs in India? What does this mean for manufacturing in India? And is the criticism correct that rules are being tweaked to benefit global giants looking at India? What does this mean for startups? Let me quickly start with GVL Narasimha Rao. GVL, analysts are saying, one, the Congress says you've panicked. Analysts are saying that the markets got spooked the way Raghuram Rajan wasn't given a second tenure, and that is why this government announced these radical measures.
Gaurav, we know the Congress party has all along been in a very negative frame of mind, and we have stopped taking their comments seriously because people of India have started taking have stopped taking them seriously. I think let us look at the substantive decisions. Today we are in the entire world. India is receiving the largest amount of FDI. We are the most favored destination. And today's decisions will only strengthen India's
the most FDI that's coming in, Shweta Punj will correct me if I'm wrong, the most FDI that's coming in, sir, is in the service sector. You want it in the manufacturing sector. What are you doing to get it in the manufacturing sector?
No, I think, Gaurav, I think today's decisions, I think going several steps forward from what the kind of initiatives that were taken last year, last November perhaps. I think this government today, we have really not left any scope for any global manufacturer to really ask for anything more. I think today's decisions really allowing even 100% FDI in the automatic route and up to 74% in other sectors. I think this is what the international majors have been asking for. I think they've got what they have been looking for now. And today India is the place for them to invest in. And we are confident that we will be able to really, we will be able to give a fillip to the entire manufacturing sector with the companies coming and investing. There is absolutely no other economy of the size of India which has really opened up as much.
Atul Anjan, do you share this positive, vibes that are coming out of GVL Narasimha Rao, that it's that big step that the government has taken to open the economy? What does this mean for startups then, sir? Do they have reason to feel spooked?
Gauravji, I just want to make a point here. I don't want to make a political attack here and there, but see, last 2 years, the whole set of economic measures which has been taken, it has a devastating effect on the common people. And the all big promises which has been made earlier by the Prime Minister itself, and that has become, you see, one of the points, one of the very, very attractive and lucrative points for the common people. And because of that, the BJP and the Prime Minister Narendra Modi was given very, very warm support. And what happened to that? What happened to Jan Dhan Yojana? Yes, there is the opening of bank account. What happened to every family will get 15 lakh rupees within a year or within 6 months? What happened to that?
Okay.
What happened
no,
to the
on the issue,
people
on
will
the
get
issue,
every year the job? What
yes.
happened to that one? How they will arrest the grossing prices? I just want to say the FDI, FDI. They say that $63 billion have come, but what happened to that $63 billion in last year, you see, which has come to the India, but it has not created the jobs. It has not
have jobs been created?
Infrastructure. And
have
for
jobs
what?
been created? Are jobs coming in? Is this the correct step?
The world over, the big company want to loot the Indian situation.
Okay, or is this loot of India, as Atul Anjan says?
Well, Mr. Anjan has of course taken an extreme view. No, jobs is a huge question. It's a huge crisis for India right now. 1 million people enter the workforce almost every month. So that's the kind of problem that we are looking at. This is a significant move. Opening up FDI by 100% across a whole range of sectors is definitely a bold move. It's a step up from the incremental approach that the government had been taking. And however, having said that, the efficacy of this move in terms of their intent is to create lakhs of jobs will really depend on whether investors buy the India story. And right now, there is a lot of apprehension, not only because, investing in India is difficult, but also because globally the environment is quite subdued.
But the way the BJP says that last year, $55 billion came and India was the best destination, the most favored destination.
Right.
So is the government working in the right direction?
So Gaurav, it's fascinating. Yes, India is getting a lot of FDI, but is it going towards manufacturing? A lot of it is actually targeted towards the services sector. And government of India, through its Make in India program, through FDI, clearly wants to give manufacturing a push. And if you specifically look at the companies that will really benefit from this, it's Apple, Foxconn, IKEA, a lot of American majors who are eyeing the Indian market, who want to tap into the potential of this market, will benefit from this move. But if you look at the pharmaceutical sector, 100% FDI in pharmaceutical sector, even you speak to pharma companies, they have a different set of issues that they want addressed. Okay. They want the government to let go of price controls and so on and so forth.
Let me for a moment then get this criticism. Let me get GVL Narasimha Rao to respond to this. GVL, 2 points raised. Atul Anjan says foreign companies will loot India. Shweta Punj says jobs may be created in the times to come, but where is money coming in the infrastructure sector where it's most needed, sir?
Gaurav, as far as the criticism of the opposition is concerned, today the entire world considers India as a bright spot. I think we are growing at 7.5–8%, which is the highest in the world. So certainly India's story is actually begun to revive after we came to power. And whereas in a difficult global scenario, we have performed exceptionally well. And the outlook for the next few years is even brighter. And as far as jobs are concerned, I think our government focuses on creating jobs both in the formal sector and informal sector. And in the formal sector, I think there is a lag. Let's understand this. Foreign manufacturers coming, setting up shop in greenfield projects, they cannot generate employment in a year or a few months. It is likely to have some lag, but certainly the positive indications, the positive steps are being taken in that direction. And as far as the large unorganized sector is concerned, I think the amount of money that was given as loans for self-employment under Mudra has created crores of jobs. So you cannot really look at this as some kind of generation of jobs only in the government sector or in the organized sector.
No, but infrastructure, that big infrastructure push,
our government has been investing heavily into it. The public investment in infrastructure has been the highest in our government, be it in railways, be it in highways. We are building at least 10 times the amount of roads that were built per day during the UPA era.
As far as defense is
you
concerned,
cannot ignore all this. And in the railway sector,
I want to bring in
8 lakh crores being invested.
Okay, I want to bring in Sandeep Unnithan on defense. Sandeep, 49% FDI in defense did not enthuse arms manufacturers, arms majors overseas. But now that the government says 100% FDI in defense, what does this actually translate into on ground?
Gaurav, the difference between 49% and 100% is like going from a two-lane road to a expressway. So in effect, the government has literally opened the doors and said the sky is the limit. Come here, come into India, set up shop. So this is one of the boldest moves that's been made in years. As Shweta pointed out, the reforms were incremental over the last couple of years. When FDI began 15 years back, it was at 26%. There was very little interest from the global defense companies.
Yes.
But now that it's gone up to 100%, I'm sure the FIPB will be, awash with proposals from global companies that would want to set up shop in India. And it's a win-win for all because as you know, the government is committed to setting up a defense industrial base within India.
Yes.
Right? We've had major problems with these monopolies in the public sector, which now the government wants to create alternatives in the private sector. This actually enables that to happen, and it creates jobs. I mean, there are projections of 1 million jobs in the high-tech sector, in the defense industry, every year that you could create.
Atul Anjan, does this sound as a step in the right direction? The way experts in the field are saying this will create more jobs, the monopoly of public sector will go as far as defense manufacturing is concerned, and this could lead to India being a big hub in defense manufacturing, Mr. Anjan.
Mr. Gaurav, one thing I want to tell you, in this country, whether it is the UPA government or United Front government or NDA government, whosoever government is there, it has been a routine type of music system which has been played by the SOCM, CII and other FICCI and others, that the growth will be there. It is a growth-oriented economy. All these things are being said. But the result is what? I just want to say one thing. During the Mr. Manmohan Singh regime, many things were said. And at that point of time, even the crisis, world over the crisis was there. Even then we were having a 6% development, GDP growth and all that. So now there is no such type of international crisis as you compare in 2007 or 8. Today the world economy is in better position. Even then you are claiming that 7%. The question is this: where is the purchasing power of the people? Where the manufacturing sector goes? What is the export of India? Why we are importing much and why our exports are going down? And I say this opening of the defense sector will not open a Pandora's box where our security concerns should not be taken very seriously. We are very much in the radar, and our own security threat and security perceptions are very much essential.
Sandeep.
And by that opening, don't you think our security concerns may be compromised?
You want to respond to what?
We have to see with the vigil eyes. Don't make and drum it that it will bring very big companies and it will manufacture structure will be there and infrastructure will be there.
Sandeep, Atul Anjan, Sandeep Unnithan wants to respond.
No, I think
Sandeep, no, but is this a genuine fear? If global arms majors come to India, Atul Anjan fears national security could be at stake. Is there merit in his fear, Sandeep?
I don't believe that at all, Gaurav. I mean, in fact, I would think that national security is jeopardized when we don't have access to original equipment manufacturers, when we have to import security. I mean, this is how ridiculous it is. India is a country that aspires for a seat on the UN Security Council, and we import more than 60% of our defense requirements. I mean, I don't see any greater dichotomy in this than what Mr. Anjan is suggesting. I mean, I think our securities, we are far more served by having 100% companies within India that are producing and supplying our armed forces than we are, importing from every country in the world.
Oh, absolutely. And then India controls. India decides how much to manufacture, when to manufacture,
exactly.
who all to export to. So we go into another league, is what you're saying.
That's right.
Shweta, what about the criticism that Mr. Anjan had that small manufacturers, they may suffer when these big giants come into India, especially in e-commerce, for instance?
Gaurav, one thing I'd like to highlight before I get to that is that considering they're putting a lot of FDI investments on the automatic route, which basically means that investors will not have to go through a long bureaucratic process to get permissions at every stage. That's a huge step forward in the ease of doing business agenda that the government has set for itself. And Make in India. These are the two things that really give a push for, because even in defense, I think it's 100% FDI for certain kind of investments where
through
you
the
can
government route.
Through the government, through the government route, pharmaceuticals, greenfield automatically will be given approval. So that's great. However, in the e-commerce space, it's very interesting that the government has opened up 100% FDI, because we are seeing a lot of startups in this space, and when you open up the market, you have international players who have a lot more expertise, who have a lot more capital coming into India. So this is going to lead to a big shake-up in the entrepreneurial space in India. We'll see a lot of consolidations. We'll probably see a lot of startups shutting shop. This would lead to a churn in the industry. So that's where it could be looked at both ways. Maybe Indian startups will be forced to up their game, invest more in processes, supply chain management, or we could see a churn in that space.
But GVL Narasimha Rao, in the pharma sector, the West may want to invest in India. They look at a big market in India, but they would want price control to go, and that could as Atul Anjan's also been pointing out, that will affect the common man in this country if medicines become very expensive. So are there checks and balances coming in?
I completely see them as two different issues, Gaurav. As far as tapping the market is concerned, I think any foreign manufacturer will have to work within the policy environment that prevails at that time. Whether that policy environment is likely to undergo some change is something that the government will decide. But certainly what is of paramount importance to the government is the interests of Indian citizens, and access to healthcare, access to medicines is of primary importance. And compared to the kind of chest thumping and chest beating that the Congress and left parties indulge in, we have been very pro-poor. We have brought about this Jan Dhan Yojana financial inclusion program. This was not done when left parties were in power at the center or when they supported Manmohan Singh. I think we have got and we have ensured access to the banking system. We have given, they have deposited something like 35,000 crores. A lot of money is being given as direct benefit transfer, ending leakages. And we have given social security to the entire unorganized sector. So the left parties have been indulging in only propaganda. They have done nothing.
Is this Shweta then a step forward, a positive step forward?
Social security.
The government step?
Yes, Gaurav. Also, in a way, the BJP-led government has repositioned itself. We have to remember the days when BJP was considered as a protectionist party, and the Swadeshi Jagran Manch is not very happy with the entire, opening up of the economy. So, this, in a way, through this move, Prime Minister Modi has also embossed his economic ideology on the government.
So the government says it's a big step that's been taken. We need to wait and watch what impact this big move has. Sandeep Puneethan, Shweta Punj, Atul Anjan and GVL Narasimha Rao. For the moment, many thanks for joining me.